Content pioneers left bloody and wounded after razor sharp arrows pierced their backs. This is often the fate of those who strive to be original. I know the pressure from feeling and thinking that everything I share must be new or original to me. Something that I created that nobody else has ever thought of before. This is another thing that holds people back. The reality is that there is nothing new under the sun. I heard Dan Kennedy talk about this in one of his seminars. He said that he doesn't have an original bone in his body, nor does he try to be original, because, as he says, pioneers end up with arrows in their backs. Instead, he borrowed and modeled ideas from other successful marketers, thinkers, and entrepreneurs that came before him. He focused on being prolific and working fast. I didn't just see this from Dan. I see it in all the content producers and entrepreneurs I follow. Again, even though I was taught, aware of, and witnessed it in all the content I followed, I still didn't produce. This is a painful and challenging path. This doesn't mean you can't combine existing ideas to create a new blend. Often, good ideas come from combining two or more concepts in a fresh way. One way to spruce up your content is to weave your unique personality into your content. So, you can take this formula, for example. Curated content number 1 plus curated content number 2 plus your personality or opinion plus infotaining stories equals fresh, unique, engaging content. Now, of course, to simplify, you can remove one or two of these steps. But again, this is what many successful creators, entertainers, writers, etc. have done for centuries. And you may be saying, but if this information is already out there, why would people come to me to get this content? Now, it's a good question. I've asked this and wrestled with it for years. In fact, this is another big reason why it's taken me so long to get my info content business off the ground. A frustrating part of this is that my mentors have taught me this over a decade ago. And no matter how often I heard this, I would still let my doubts and fears and over analytical mind get in the way. But again, why would your audience go to you for this? The answer, your audience will want to get this from you because they like you. You've built a relationship with them. They resonate with your personality and opinions. They like the flavor that is you. And so now that I'm finally creating content consistently and progressing, it's a relief knowing that I don't have to create completely original content. Another benefit to this approach is that I get to share my journey with my audience. This is part of the approach document, don't create, which I first heard from Gary Vee. Being stuck in creator mode slows down the process. When you put on your creator hat, in quotes, you feel like you must sit down with a blank canvas and create something new from your mind and from only your mind. Again, this is not how most creators, writers, and artists work. They get ideas and inspiration from sources around them. At first, they would copy or mimic these influences. Then, over time, their work will take on a blend of its own and put their own fingerprint on it. This is also how to discover and create content in your unique voice. In case you're still unconvinced and think all your work must be brand spanking new, here are 12 potential drawbacks when you try to be original in all your ideas, content, and products. Number 1, time consumption. Creating entirely original work from scratch requires significant time. The research, brainstorming, and development phases can be lengthy, which could delay product launches or content publication. Number 2, increased costs. Innovating without references or borrowed ideas can lead to higher costs. The trial and error involved in creating something entirely new can be financially taxing. Number 3, risk of failure. Being original carries a higher risk of failure, especially if the market is not ready for the new ideas or products you are introducing. Number 4, over complexity. Trying to be original can lead to overcomplicating simple ideas or processes, confusing your audience, and unnecessarily increasing the project's complexity. Number 5, reinventing the wheel. there's a chance of wasting resources on solving problems that have already been solved before, leading to an inefficient use of time and effort. Number 6, resource intensive. Originality often demands more resources, both human and financial. This might strain your business, especially if you are a small entrepreneur or a startup. Number 7, mental exhaustion. The constant pressure to come up with original ideas can lead to mental exhaustion, creativity burnout, and stress, which can have a detrimental impact on overall productivity and well being. Number 8, isolation. Being overly focused on originality can isolate you and your business from industry trends, community, and collaborative opportunities, which can be vital for growth and staying relevant. Unpredictable outcomes. The market's reaction to entirely new concepts or products is often unpredictable, and the lack of proven models can lead to uncertain outcomes. Number 10, learning curve. Every new original idea requires a new learning curve, which could lead to delays and additional costs, especially if new skills or knowledge are needed. Number 11, difficulty in marketing. It can be challenging to market a totally original idea, as it most likely will require educating the market, which can be a long and arduous and expensive process. And finally, number 12, lack of expertise. A lack of expertise or experience in dealing with entirely new concepts may lead to unforeseen challenges and mistakes. Sheesh. Man, when you consider these factors, trying to be original really puts unnecessary pressure on you when the payoff often isn't there. So, all right, enough jibber jabber. Time to move from discussion and theory into fast action. So, who are your mentors? What resources do you follow? Use and borrow ideas from these sources to create your content. Also, add stories and experiences from your journey. This simple process will free you up and give you the feeling that you do not need to be original in all your works. And of course, it is important that I state that I am not advocating here for plagiarism or for copying verbatim. That, of course, is wrong and unethical and illegal. What I mean here is just you're just borrowing and getting inspiration from these sources and then blending them using your own unique voice to create your content. All right, so until next time, this is Josh Ford.